The NBA is a league with approximately 450 tremendously talented athletes. Some of them are household names, and others are, well, underrated. It's easy for NBA players as talented as the ones we'll be discussing today to slip through the cracks of the casual fan's eye. I mean, with 82 games, 30 teams, and 2 conferences, how could everyone keep up with every player on every roster? It's okay, no one said you had to. Today, we'll be looking at 4 of the league's most underrated players. Before we start, I want to give some honorable mentions to Gary Trent Jr., Garrison Matthews, and Mikal Bridges. Number 1, Lonzo Ball. For casuals, maybe you'd say his output on the stat sheet is underwhelming. Lonzo's season was unfortunately cut short due to injury, but in the 35 games he played, he averaged 13 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 5.1 assists, shooting 42.3% from the field and an amazing 42.3% from the three. However, Lonzo is exactly the type of Draymond Green style teammate you love to have. Someone who's always making the right pass, someone who's always in the right spot on defense, someone who's shooting efficient, good, open looks. Lonzo does all the things right that don't show up on the stat sheet. He's a great defender, he has impeccable court vision, and he knows his role wherever he is. If you watch the Bulls this year, you really did see the fall off in production when him and Alex Caruso, who will not be on this list because of the mainstream media has brought attention to him, but he's like Robert Williams, where real viewers of the game know how good he is, but casuals are just like, oh yeah, he's so good. Anyways, excuse me for my tangent. The Bulls just saw a huge fall in the standings after not seeing Lonzo the rest of the season due to his meniscus injury. Going forward into the season, I think it's worth noting that with the change of scenery and the blossoming of LaMelo, it helps Lonzo continue to stay humble and quiet, as he's always liked to be. He can just hone in on his craft and stay in the lab. As for what Lonzo could improve on, I would definitely like to see his driving tendency and effort for drawing contact go up. These two go hand in hand, I suppose. Lonzo only shoots a shockingly low 1 free throw per game average, and that's on his career. I know his playstyle is to facilitate first, and now it's turning even more into a sharpshooter, but with the height and finesse he possesses, you'd hope that he would use his body a little bit more down low like his brother Jello does, and even Melo, who is much skinnier. I love Lonzo and the Ball brothers game, which is why it hurts me to say, but I really do think if he can be a little bit more aggressive and just stay healthy, the Bulls will be right back where they were last year as far as being a top 4 seed in the East. Number 2, Ricky Rubio. Ricky is the type of leader off the bench that every championship team has. I'm not saying this means the Cavs will be champions, but I am saying I'm very happy he's been brought back. He has this definitive leader status even though he's not putting up the craziest numbers, and that's how you know he's an expert at what he does. Guys like Rubio don't need to stuff the stat sheet to correlate to wins. He understands the game of basketball. He understands how to control the tempo of the game and thread passes to where they need to be and when they need to be there. He serves as such an active mentor for the young guys on the Cavs, especially Darius Garland. I have seen nothing but positive feedback from Darius Garland, the Cavs, and the Cavs fans since re-signing Ricky Rubio. Again, he's not one of those guys that's going to completely stuff the stat sheet, but he is definitely someone you want to be wearing the same jersey as you. As for what I don't like about Ricky now has 2 ACL tears on his career and is not getting any younger. Thankfully, most of his game, like I said, is skill-based and not athletic-oriented. This does, however, affect the second issue I have, and that's the speed of his jump shot. He has such a still, slow to get up through your legs kind of shot. I just hope that his legs and knees feel comfortable as he did after suffering such an intense knee injury for the second time in your career. Number 3, Christian Wood. Christian Wood has gotten a bit more recognition in the last 2 seasons he's had with Houston, but at the end of the day, you'd still hear what he's doing does not contribute to winning basketball, which yes, is true, but now he's paired alongside with Luka Doncic playing for the Dallas Mavericks. Ironically, I think he's going to slide into the role that the Mavs had hoped Kristaps Porzingis was going to be. I really think that he will complement and make the game a lot easier for Luka. What I like from Christian is that from what I've seen from the last 2 seasons, he is more than willing to get involved with the pick and roll. Whether he's rolling for a lob or popping for a 3, he gets it done. For his size, he gets a lot of gritty rebounds, which you really like to see in your bigs. He just plays with that natural, I want to win at all costs type of energy. Not to mention, he's very agile for how explosive he tends to be. His vertical leap allows him to maintain dominance down low, which the Mavs are also desperately in need of. It may seem like I'm gassing him a little bit, but I don't know. I just see the potential in him in that he's getting better and better every season, and more he's becoming able to put the ball on the ground and dribble and create. I can only imagine what Luka will show him now that he's teammates with him in Dallas. What I dislike about Christian is sometimes his shot selection is questionable. It's not like he's super inefficient. There's just games where he'll go on these Julius Randle type stretches where you see him shoot and go, why is he even attempting that? Maybe that's just him playing in Houston and limit testing his own capabilities. I don't know. I for sure look forward to seeing if he can polish his game a little bit more and become a little bit more patient in the Mavs system, because I do believe the game just comes naturally to a guy like him. I was seriously debating putting Gary Trent Jr. here instead, but just because of how eager I am to see him play with Dame, I have to talk about this. I really thought Portland might have shipped Dame away and went full rebuild mode after signing Simons to the new long-term contract that they just did, but they're keeping the undersized backcourt streak alive. I love Simons' game, the way he moves off the ball, the way he shoots off the screen, the way he slips through defenders. I mean, come on, we all know who this is reminiscent of. Something I really like about Simons' game that I don't think is talked about enough is how efficient he is for how early in his career he is. Shooting 40% on 8 attempts a game from 3 as a guard who is just starting is no joke. Usually there's a bit of a starter rut for guards as they're having to grow into a new role and having to deal with all these growing pains into such a more physical league. But when Anthony looks just very poised, he looks very okay with where he's at. What I dislike, it's not really his fault, but just the situation he's in right now. I like what they're trying to do with Portland, you know, the loyal bits of Dame and how they brought Jeremy Grant in with this most recent trade, but you just hate to see when someone like Anthony gets caught up in it where he ends up playing second fiddle to someone like Dame, who, don't get me wrong, has earned his stripes, but could just be doing it more productively and more winningly somewhere else. I just think Anthony would blossom more on a team like the Mavericks or the Lakers or even the Celtics. Again, I'm very eager to see how he and the Blazers perform this year, but that definitely is a bit concerning. And that's all from me today, guys. I really appreciate the support and feedback that you guys have been showing down below in the comments recently. If you guys did enjoy this video, please do leave it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please comment any NBA takes and thoughts you may have down below. I love to read them and respond to any and all of them. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.